my name is Molly Hardee. I'm an international artist with Colors by Gina, and today we're going to be doing a class on beige brown. So we're going to start with this lovely mannequin that we have right here. I'll show you guys kind of where we're starting with her, about a level between 5 and 6 base, somewhat warm, not a lot of variation to her, so we're going to add a lot of great dimension using our beige brown series. I did want to show you guys this little take out from our swatch book. This has all of our beige browns. So this is going to be 9.31, 8.13, 7.31, 6.32, and 5.32. Now today we are going to be utilizing 5.32 and 9.31 exclusively, but also some lightening dust because she doesn't have any color on her hair, but I want to have a really beautiful dimension. We're going to be doing some foliage, and that is our mixtures. We'll show you what we need to get this color started. Here is everything that we're going to need for today's class. This is going to be the bowl of color that we use in the first process, and this is going to be the lightning dust. This is 5.32. I did about 40 grams of that, and then I mixed ratio 1 to 1.5 with 20 volume, and then I did the same with the lightning dust, 20 volume as well. We are going to be using the 9.31 to tone and the second process that I'm going to show you guys, but this should be about everything you need. Some clips, a rat tail comb, some foils for a little foliage, and I think we'll get started from there. Once you have everything that you need and your color all mixed up, I like to be kind of simple these days with partings, especially if I'm going to be doing any kind of color melt or foliage. I like to work just from the bottom up or from the front back. A lot of people are doing middle parts now, so often I will work off of a typical tea parting. So all I'm going to do is part her down the center and then on the sides as well, and we'll just kind of work back from there. So we're not doing any crazy partings today, but we're going to be putting a lot of dimension in for her. So we're just going to be parting down the center. And if your client who you want to do this on has a side part, you could just shift it a little bit towards their part so that there is the dimension that you want to see, or you could keep it in the middle part and tell them that they can switch it to either side if they would like as well. And we're going to be working on the left side of the head to show you this technique, and then it would just be repeating on the other side of the head. So we'll just be completing one side. And this isn't a lot of foils in this technique as well, so it's something that you could really do easily with a client, but we wanted to show the power of the beautiful beige browns. So on this half head, again, she has a center part and then a T-parting along the back of the ear all the way up to the top of the head. All right, so we're gonna be applying the root color first to this entire section. How I like to do this really quickly behind the chair, I used to do a T-parting and I would start and kind of go in a diagonal pattern, and you do have a lot of coverage with that, however, it's kind of slow. So what I have switched to more recently is doing the entire T-part section from top to bottom, and then working actually vertically, because you would get nice big sections and you can just work up that section. So I'm gonna go ahead and quickly apply that color, and you guys can see I'm just gonna be doing roots and about an inch or a little less than that, depending on where the placement is and the density of the hair, but about an inch out from the roots. And then we'll be applying our foliage pieces and then pulling through the 5.32 between those foils to create a really great vertical dimension. So then when we get to the front, I am going to be a little more cautious about my placement of the root color. I'm going to still do the roots, but I'm going to go only about a ½ inch away from the scalp because we are going to be putting a couple of balayage pieces, foliage pieces close to the front, and I don't want the color to be melting too much into the lightning dust that we put on. So just being a little more cautious, just right around the hairline, still doing close to an inch, but maybe just a little more cautious, a little more tidy with your partings. So then I'm going to actually take a piece and leave it down because we're not trying to make her blonde. She's not having like a crazy money piece. I'm going to take that very second slice after the hairline. And then with your rat tail comb, just give it a little tease. Now, depending on what you're working with, if you have gray, you're still good because you put that root color on. So as long as you cover their hair there. If you are worried about that section not having as much pigment to it. You can always go back over the teasing part and put a little bit of color, but I usually wait to do that until after I have put the foil on. So I always fold a piece under so that if I need to come back and clean that up just a little, I can. And then you place the foil down and pull taut against the bottom. I know that this is a tricky technique for some people to get. It takes a lot of hand coordination. So then you just go right against the face. And if you don't want to put it right on their face, you can put your hand underneath. Just be sure that you keep it super straight like this. And we're going to be kind of blending it just in a fanning motion back and forth up to the top. But because we did that teasing, that's going to help eliminate any weird banding that happens right there. And I'm going to go up fairly high with this one. With the other foils, I may not go quite as high. And then we're just going to saturate fully with our Lightening Dust, 20 volume, all the way to the ends, and cover. And then you can fold this a couple different ways. If you are worried about bleed marks at all, and you don't want, or not bleed marks, but like saturation sections, you can just take a second foil, double foil on top here. Be sure to fold at the bottom so that you're keeping that heat in nice and tight. So essentially what we're going to do is I'm going to work around the head in about 1.5 inch sections and do that in a vertical parting. And then I'm going to be coming through and pulling the 5.32 into all of these sections that are left outside of the foils. So I'll go ahead and start showing you guys what that looks like. So this is a really great way to get a lot of color and pigment into a look without having to use too many foils. I actually only have 5 foils. So there's going to be 2 in the back section and then 3 in the front, because again, I just want to break it up a little bit. And then I also, as I took those vertical partings, there is a little bit, they are completely vertical, but then when I pulled everything forward, I over directed just a little bit. And that's going to also help diffuse that line, if any, but the teasing is going to take care of most of that. So I'm going to go ahead and go through in between all of these foils and put that 5.32 mixture in between all of them. And then we will be letting her sit for about 35-minute processing time for permanent hair color. So as you could see, as I applied that color in between all of the foils, I was also wiping my hands after each section just to keep that color from getting all over the colors and getting messy, or all over the foils, getting messy and getting all over your customer as well. It's always a good idea once you have this pulled away from their face for processing time to go ahead and wipe up around the hairline as well. But yeah, it's a nice tidy look. You could do the same if you did the other half. And they would just fall on right on top of each other, and it's very comfortable processing for the customer as well. So we will let that sit now for 35 minutes, and then we will wash out and have some beautiful highlights to tone with the 9.31. Now we're going to move into the toning part of this color, and I have mixed up 1 to 2 parts 9.31 with our 5 volume, and this is going to be your toner or demi-permanent process. And I'm going to have my mannequin washed out, and then I'm going to leave her hair kind of damp but towel dried. I'm actually going to shampoo and condition her first, then do this process. And I'll apply that with you guys on the mannequin stand, but you could definitely do this at the shampoo bowl with your customer and then just kind of tidy it up and let them sit up for the processing time. We'll be letting this toner sit on for about 20 minutes. So now that I've got her shampooed and conditioned and combed out with all the teasy lights combed through, I'm going to apply the toner that we have, the 9.31, onto the lightening pieces. I don't have to be exact, it definitely can get on the rest of the hair, so if you're shampooing a client, you could put it for the most part all over, and it's not going to have a level of lift because we have already dropped her down to a level 5. But what I really like about with the Colors by Gina toner or demi-permanent that you're putting on in this way is that the shampoo and conditioner, you're able to get those teasy lights pulled through, and so you can get through the hair and it just glides through the hair like this. Whereas if you have a toner and you're putting it on top of hair that has not been conditioned yet, it's kind of difficult to work through the hair. Sometimes you are stuck with those pieces that are like teased, or the hair after lightening just feels really dry, and so it's just difficult to work with. So I enjoy this. working with this level. And I'm just gonna finish this up working through the whole head. Right, so I have got her washed and conditioned back out and just gave a few curls here. What I want you guys to really see as I move her around is the movement that we have, where she doesn't read as blonde, but there's some beautiful dimensions of that beige color in there. So this is perfect. I'm gonna break these curls up a little bit. This is perfect for your client who is brunette and wants a little something different, but doesn't wanna go with a full bright balayage. You can just see there's just a few little really subtle, really beautiful highlights, and then around the face, just a little bit lighter, but it blends so well. And she lifted to about a level, about a 9, but because of that beige color, it just softened it in here really beautifully. So beautiful. And it cooled down the other side. You can kind of see I don't have this one finished. That one is so much warmer, and this cooled it down in such a great way. So the 5.32 is going to be your level 5 gold with a violet finish, and that's what gives it that really soft, not too ashy, not too warm, great balance of our beige colors. So thank you guys so much for joining me today for this class. Hopefully you picked up some awesome tips, and feel free to reach out with any questions, but go ahead and play with our beiges and our toners. As always, you can use the entire Colors by Gina line as a toner. You just have to change your color producer, and that's going to be to the 5 volume, 1 to 2 parts for about 20 minutes. But I use them on reds and all kinds of things with the shampoo bowl. So that's our color intelligence inside of Colors by Gina. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.